Good afternoon, everybody. Today I will present you chapter 231 of Chainsaw Man. The chapter where supposedly Tatsuki Fujimoto has decided to end Chainsaw Man or to end part 2. It's still not clear. There's a lot of inconsistencies. Manga Plus said it was the final chapter, but then it changed into to be continued, so it's really unsure. But for now, let's get to the interpretation of the chapter, because it seems to have a lot of different interpretations right now. First, Denji wakes up in a blank field. There's no one around, nobody, no sign of the previous fight, no sign of Asal, no sign of Yuro, and no sign of the insects that were attacking him earlier. Pochita is completely calm on Denji's torso. He tells him that they've been eaten by devils, perhaps the locust devil. And despite this information, Pochita is just utterly calm. Denji is shook. He asks Pochita what's gonna happen to them, and Pochita answers calmly that their life is over, their dream life is over. And even more, he tells him that it's better that way, despite the fact that their life is over. Denji, understandably so, he's furious. He yells at Pochita that of course it's bad. Denji could have had everything that he ever wanted. Kisses, a girlfriend, he could have even had sex for the first time finally, and to that, Pochita tells him that it's better, that he's better off not having sex and achieving what he always wanted to do. Obviously, Denji does not take it well at all. And so, Pochita drops the bomb. He tells Denji that no matter what, when he went to school, when he connected with Asa, when he found a family in Power and in Aki, he was never truly, fully happy. Never. And it's sad, and judging by Denji's reaction, this is something that is true, sadly. You can literally see the realization dawn on him like the shade of the tree on the manga panel. Pochita explains to him that he has noticed, he just pretended to not truly realize it, that no matter what, when he was well fed, when he was surrounded by people he liked, he was never truly as happy as he was in that rotten, run-down shed eating stale pieces of bread. And so, contrasting with the blank landscapes around him, Pochita transforms into his fully black, complete form, and tells Denji that he has, unfortunately, the crappiest kind of brain. One that can only truly ever be fulfilled, one that can only truly find happiness when in the most deplorable situations possible. And so, as Denji's shading turns fully grey, showing how he now fully understands his situation and what's happening, Pochita hugs him calmly in his fully transformed form, making sure the chainsaws doesn't scrape against his skin. Denji is shocked, fully. He doesn't know how to respond, but before he can even muster out a word, Pochita rips out his own heart and tells Denji he's going to swallow it himself, thus erasing the concept of the chainsaw devil. He doesn't even know what's gonna happen afterwards, but maybe that's the only way he could save Denji from whatever is plaguing him now. Denji yells at Pochita that he does not want to lose him, but it's no use. Pochita is too stubborn and is too deep into his plan now. He tells Denji that maybe in a world without him, Denji would be able to keep dreaming, and that ever since Pochita met Denji, he was able to see as many dreams as he ever wanted, and more than he could have ever hoped to see. And so, as Denji starts to cry, Pochita tells him his last words: keep on dreaming, Denji, before he chows down on his own heart, thus erasing the concept of the Chainsaw Devil and his own entire existence. The very last panel is a double spread of the woods, a tree stump, and the shed where Denji grew up in. We don't have any other kind of information. It's raining, the panel is beautiful, and it's fully enigmatic. Very well. There is a lot to say about this chapter. A lot that's good, a lot that's bad, and a lot that's very much left to interpretation. First of all, I just want to salute how pretty this chapter looked. It really is only Fujimoto that could make some designs like this. Like, some of the panels just look incredible, especially near the end, and I really like Denji's facial expression, and the last double spread really look absolutely incredible. The details on those trees are just breathtaking. It's wonderful. It is true that it is a bit of a sudden change coming out of chapter 230 that ended in a cliffhanger where the insects were attacking both Yoru and Denji, but I kind of like the effect it brings, and it's not really that far-fetched coming from Fujimoto. That's the type of sequence he do, so I'm not truly complaining about it. What's weirder is the sudden change of attitude coming from Pochita. How he now does not support Denji anymore, how he goes against his wishes, and how he decides that maybe it's for the better that Denji does not have sex, does not accomplish his dream. And just a few panels later, telling Denji to keep dreaming no matter what. It's just so weird, so eerie coming from Pochita, a character that had been supporting Denji since chapter 1 and even well before that. But the reason why is the exact same reason why Denji was never truly happy when he was with Power and Aki, when he was with Asa, when he was with Nayuta, when he had a family. It's the exact same reason why he was not fulfilled when he squeezed Power's fake breasts. It's the exact same reason why he truly is never happy in Chainsaw Man. Denji can never be fulfilled when he accomplishes his dream. He always is disappointed. Of course, Denji was happy in those moments. He was happy when he went to the cinema with Makima. He was happy when he was spending time with Power. He was happy with Naota. And he was happy at school too. But he was never as happy as when he was getting prepared for this type of event. He was never as happy as he was when he was getting ready to hunt the gun devil, when he was getting ready to hang out with Makima, when he was getting ready to spend time with Reze. He always is more interested by the journey to a destination than the destination itself. And so Denji can't help but be disappointed by every outcome, every time. And even if he's still happy in the moment, he's never as happy as he expected. And that's a mindset that a lot of people have actually. That's why Pochita spoke of a kind of brain, and not Denji's brain in particular. Maybe you too have this mindset, and it's something that can really ruin one's life if they get disappointed too much. That's something that can make every nice event bitter, every preparation just ecstatic and maybe even anxious sometimes. It's something that's truly crappy in every sense of the word. But it's also a fantastic tool for survival. That's what helped Denji survive up until now. How was he surviving otherwise just inside a small shed eating stale bread? Of course, his dreams kept him alive. That's how he handled the situation around him. He was pushed so hard by his own desires, by his own ambitions, that he didn't even think of what would happen afterward. And he didn't even think of what would happen if he reached that destination. He just rushed towards his dreams mindlessly. But as he became Chainsaw Man, as he was finally able to reach those dreams, his ideology, his mindset just started to drag him down more and more and more. That's why Pochita sacrificed himself. Because if Denji had sex, and if he was disappointed one final time by what was supposed to be his biggest dream, then he would have been heartbroken. That's why Pochita said that maybe it was better if he didn't had sex. Maybe it was better if he just let go for once, if he came back as he was in that shed. That's why Pochita told Denji multiple times to keep dreaming, so he would continue to remain happy. That's why Pochita thanked him for finally seeing every dream he wanted to see, after having seen Denji get disappointed over and over again, and seeing that disappointment grow and grow on him more and more and more. Pochita finally decided that it was time for him to go, that it was time for Chainsaw Man to go, to die, and to let Denji live as perhaps he always had wanted to live, even if he didn't realize it himself. And so, as Pochita sacrifices himself, he brings the series to kind of a bittersweet ending, where Denji will keep dreaming, of course, in his shed, but it's kind of bitter since he won't ever accomplish his dreams. The message is that sometimes your dreams just aren't worth pursuing. It's kind of like never meeting your idols. Of course, it can be good to accomplish your dreams, but what if you just get disappointed? What if it wasn't as good as you thought? It's terrifying. It's a cruel thought that you could just spend your life, spend your energy onto something that ultimately disappoints you, and that the journey towards it, the ignorance of just imagining how good it would feel, ultimately made you happier than actually reaching it. Maybe it's even a comment on the series itself. Maybe it's better that we don't see the end. A lot of people had so much fun just seeing, just watching, just reading Chainsaw Man, that maybe they just don't want it to stop. Maybe they just want to keep dreaming. We see it multiple times. We see it with Bleach, we see it with Naruto, we see it with JJK, and we'll probably also see it with One Piece eventually. You just don't want to see the ending, because perhaps you're gonna be disappointed. And if you're disappointed, then maybe life was better when you didn't know when it was gonna end. When you didn't know you were going to be disappointed. Maybe it's just better to stay lost. This ending fucking sucks. It's awful. I don't understand how Fujimoto thought it was a good idea to just shove it into our face right then and there. Because although it is a good conclusion to Denji's character, it kinda comes out of nowhere, to be honest. And there has been a few signs that maybe he'd be disappointed, but nothing grand, nothing that could have ever prepared us to such events. And there's still so many other interpretations out there, but in the end, it's just a bit rushed. What about Asa's character? What about the War Devil plotline? What about the Death Devil? There's so many unsolved questions that are not addressed, and if this is the end of the manga, it is impossible that there will all be addressed by the end of Chainsaw Man, which is why I firmly believe there's gonna be a part 3. Think about it. What's the most common thing among movies? Trilogies. And what is Fujimoto a fan of? Movies. He has shown it multiple times that he is heavily inspired by movie. If he made a part 1, if he made a part 2, don't you think he'd make a part 3? It's just obvious. And on Manga Plus, they changed from final chapter to continued. So maybe that means there is gonna be a part 3, and maybe that means that there won't even be that long of a wait between the end of part 2 and part 3. As well, the Asa and Yoru situation is not resolved and will not be resolved in a single chapter. There's also a lot of questions about how exactly did Pochita death work? Did it erase every single devil? Did it return the world to what it was before Pochita met Denji? Did it just regurgitate every single devil, the Chainsaw Devil, killed over the years? Did it reveal what happened in World War II, for example? There's just a lot of questions and a lot of things that can simply not be explored in such a short amount of time. For me, it's blatant that Tatsuki Fujimoto has something up his sleeve with the rest of Chainsaw Man. There's just too many questions unanswered and too much left to show in this story for it to end now. So unsolved and so incomplete. Denji's end was good, but that doesn't mean it's the end of Chainsaw Man. But most importantly, those were my thoughts and theories about this chapter. Of course, I might be wrong, but I truly think there's gonna be a part 3 to Chainsaw Man. I just don't see it ending now. But feel free to tell me your thoughts in the comments, and I'll see you in the next one.